round function. So round function is the function that we use inside SQL. So it has got two parameters. One is n, another one is d. And n denotes a number wherein we have to apply the round function, and d denotes the number of decimal places. So we'll consider the examples, then this function will be clear. So first question is select round of 312.4 comma 0. Here 312.4 denotes a number and 0 denotes a number of decimal places. So here it's like 0. So we in the output we never need the decimal places. And before that we have to understand one important rule. Whenever we consider a digit, when it is greater than or equal to 5, we'll be adding 1 onto it. And if it is less than 5, no change. This is one rule that you have to keep in mind, and where to apply, I'll explain. So consider this one. Here it's like we have 312.4 comma 0. So here 4 is less than 5. So no change. So output will be 312. And consider that 312 we are not having any kind of decimal point. Why? Because in the given question they have mentioned like 0. Next question, select round 312.5 comma 0. Here consider like 5 is greater than or equal to 5. So 1 has to be added to the nearest digit. So that's 313. That's how the answer become 313 in the second one. Now second is 312.4 comma nothing is being mentioned in the case of decimal places. So understand, by default d's value, if nothing is being specified, we have to consider it as 0. So even if here in this case the second parameter is not being mentioned, so we have to consider it as 0. So same effect as though we have applied onto the same question. So these two statements are actually same. So here same effect, since nothing is being mentioned, the decimal places is 0. So similarly 4 is less than 5, so we don't have to do anything. So answer would be 312. Moving on to next slide. Next question is select round 312.5678 comma 2. So we have to preserve two decimal places. So what you have to do is that just integer nearer to it has to be checked if it is greater than or less than 5. So since 7 is greater than 5, we'll be adding 1 to the nearest integer. So 56, so it becomes 57. So answer would be 312.57. Again, the second case, select round 312.562125 comma 2. So here too we have to preserve two decimal points, and just one digit after the decimal point is 2. We have to check in wherein 2 is greater than or less than 5. 2 is less than 5, so we don't have to do anything. So 56 can be preserved as such. So here the answer would be 312.56. Next one is select round 312.567155 comma 3. So we have to preserve three digits, and 1 is less than 5. We don't have to do anything onto it. Answer would be 312.567. And next is select round 312.567665. Three digits we have to preserve, and considering 6 it is greater than 5, so answer would be 568. Moving on to the next slide, we have round 312.567665 comma 4. So 4 digits has to be preserved. Considering 6 it's greater than 5, so 1 has to be added, so 5677. Next is 567615 comma 4. 4 digits have to be preserved, so 1 is less than 5. We'll get that same digit 5676. Then we will see variations of this round function. If a negative indexing is given, the answer would be an integer value. We won't have any kind of decimal value onto it. So here in this case what we can do, you can forget about these decimal values. Even if the question has got so many decimal places, we can forget about all these decimal points. We have to concentrate only onto this negative decimal places given. Since it is -2, what you have to do is that 2 points just before the decimal point we have to consider. Since it is mentioned 2, that 2 digits has to be converted as 0. Then what we can do is like this digits. 1, we have to check out like 1, it is less than 5. So this can be preserved as such. So answer would be 4300. Consider the second question. See here too it's like -2. So what we can do is like we can forget about these decimal points anyway. So here it's like 2 decimal. So point 2 digits before point value, that is 62. Those two values has to be converted as 00. And we have to do what you can do is like 6, we have to check in out like this. Always this is how the arrows goes in every cases. That is how you can remember out. So 6, it is greater than 5, so 1 has to be added. So answer would be 45400. In the next question, see, it's question decimal point given is -3. So 3 digits has to be considered 0. Last 3 numbers can be considered as 0. And 3 has an effect on the nearby digit. So 3, since it is less than 5, no effect will happen onto the rest of the digits. So 45 remains as such. So answer would be 45 with 3 zeros. Next set of examples, again it's like 3, so we can have 3 digits can be considered zeros. Then 8, since it is greater than 5, it would be 46000. Now again -4, so 4 digits can be converted as 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And the fourth digit you can to check in whether that element is greater than 5 or not. So 79. Now next is 783312.567. We have to preserve we have to convert 4 digits as 0. And since the last digit is 3 is less than 5, so no effect. So 78 remains the same. 78000 is the answer. Next is 5. So 5 we have to preserve. So here in this case it's completely a variation. This is how these are the numbers we have, 3312. And they are saying like 5 digits has to be converted as 0. So I'm converting this as 0, this as 0, this as zeros, this as zeros. Again after this we don't have any kind of digits. Anyway, by this mentioning we'll be adding one more 0 onto this. And what is the next step that we do? 0 to the nearest value will be considered. Since 0 is less than 5, nothing has to be added onto this. Answer would be 0. So whenever the number of decimal point is greater than the number of digits that is before this point, what you can do, answer would be always 0. So see, if before point we have got 4 digits and it's given like 5. So when such kind of cases comes in, you can give out of always the answer as 0. Next is and final kind of questions that you can expect from round off portions are, if a question come out like round off the value 257.75 to nearest 10 points, nearest 10 rupees or 10. What will be the question? So how can you write if the question is like write the SQL query for this statement? So this is the question that you will get, and the question will be like write the SQL query for this statement. So this is how you will write. Select round. You write out anyway. For round we have got 2 parameters. One is a number as such, and the second parameter what has to be done. You can give out like if it is nearest 10, 10 has got how many zeros? 1 0. This is how you can memorize it out. 10 has got 1 zeros, so you mention out like -1. Then second question is like nearest 100. So 100 has got 2 zeros. You can put the same number as such here, and since it is nearest 100, you can put out like 2 here. Since it is 100, it has got 2 zeros, so you can put like -2. So this is how you answer. And if you want the explanation for this, it's like it goes out like this. See, -1, how does it works? If this is how the question comes in, see, -1, how does it works? One digit will be converted as 0, and since 7 is greater than 5, we'll be adding 1 to it. So answer would be 260. See, what is the question? We have to convert this decimal value to the nearest 10th position. So 57, we have to consider two digits. 57. So nearest 10th means 57 is between 50 and 60. So nearest 10th value of 57 is 60. So answer would be 260. This is how it goes in. So you don't have to look onto on these things. When a question comes in, immediately you can write out like this, like nearest 10. So 1 0, you can give out like -1. Nearest 100, 2 zeros. So you can put out like -2. Thank you.